All right, birthday Howard, birthday Hoshai, birthday Howard, birthday Hoshai, Kapla Yahweh Count Shai, Bashing Howard Kakadash, double honor to the elder apostle, great bill to rule well. Citation, Akin that put to the truth, to cut the forefront of the earth, to the fear and power of Yahweh Shai, that the hope will let. And citation of Israelite foreigners that together among all the nations of the four corners of the earth that believe in the name of Yahweh Bashing Shai. And shalom to the sister and family that tune into the doctrine that preach around the whole world, peace and mercy unto you. And who the world inwardly called God, his name is Yahweh, and who the world inwardly called Jesus Christ, his name is Yahweh Shai. And it's the Hebrew Israelite that consists of you so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans, and those whose line that go back to one of the 12 tribes of Israel. All right, so this is going to be, today is October 1st, but last month was September. I just want to briefly go into where the name September came from, okay? So September came from the word September came from an Israelite man, all right? You go to, that's the information right here. I'll highlight it so you can see it. All right, so you highlight it. It's that September is named after an Israelite, Septimius Severus, by his son Kala, who took down the Roman Empire, the truth about and authoritated the truth about black people and their place in world history by Dr. Leroy Vaughn with an MD and an MBA. All right, so it's a story right there. It's a Septimius Severus' son, Lucius Septimius Bathianus, all right, commonly known as Coriolanus or Coralica, was a black Roman emperor who ruled from 211 to 217. Coralica was the eldest son of Septimius Severus, the first black African-born emperor of Rome. And we know there was Israelite, all right? It wasn't African, all right? It wasn't Hamite. They were Jake, all right, Israelite that was ruling Rome. All right, we get that picture real quick because that was during the Dark Ages. All right, so Roman. is Revelation 20:7. When 1,000 years are expired, all right, well, that's when the rule of Jake ruling in Europe, all right, for 1,000 years during the Dark Ages, all right. Then it will come to an end, and then Esau is that Satan shall be loosed out of his prison and shall go out to deceive the nation which are in the four corners of the earth, God and Magog, to them that to gather them to battle, the number of whom is at the stand of the sea. All right, so Esau will come out of captivity, right, out of the Caucasus Mountains and start deceiving the nation. That's why he went through the Renaissance period, Reformation period. I was here on the Western Hemisphere. Started the 13th colony, then the Manifest Destiny. All right, the Esau came back into power and started deceiving the earth again. All right, then eventually it was going to lead to World War III. All right, but Jake was ruling for 1,000 years. Oh, here it is. I'll read up. It's the Revelation 20:1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain. So when I started at verse 7, that's after the 1,000 year period. So this is the beginning of it. Having the keys of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. Talk about Europe, all right? In that pit, they went into, it was actually in captivity up in the Caucasus Mountain. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil, and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. And that's Esau, Edom, the so-called white people. They were bound for 1,000 years. And cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nation no more till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season. All right, and that's when that 1,000 years started. All right, with the Septimius the Severus. All right, and come to find out, the word September, it means 7, but even Septimius means 7. So the month September was named after Septimius the Severus. All right, let's go to September at them online. So from Latin, September, September, Spanish, Septimire. Can't pronounce it that good, but it means 7. All right. So called because it was the 7th month of the old Roman calendar, which began the year in March. Julian calendar reformed 46 BCE. All right, before Common Era, shifted the new year back 2 months. Okay. Let me get the scriptures. Think the same time. This is Daniel 7:25, and he shall speak great word against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change time and law. And they shall be given into his hand until a time and a dividing of time. All right, the latter part talking about slavery, but think to change time and law, because Esau, that's what he does. He changed the law. Everything that the law in this land is contrary to the law in the scripture. All right, but the main point is he changed the time by the Roman calendar to the Julian calendar. All right, because now September is the 9th month in the Julian calendar, but it actually go back to 7. All right, and then you got the suffix bird, meaning what? Bird, you gotta go to. It said a bird in 4 Latin month name is probably from birds and adjectival suffix. Tucker thinks that the first 5 months were named for their position in the agricultural cycle, and after the gathering of the crop, the months were merely numbered. All right, then we go back. Now you look up the word Septimius. This is on what is the meaning of the name. Okay. What is the meaning of the name Septimius? Go down, go down. The meaning of Septimius, Roman name which meant seven in Latin. Alright, so that's what the word Septimius means. You know, you get the Septimius Severus, what do you look like? So-called black man. See if we can find a better image. That's his son. So it's his son, it looked like that, clearly looked like a so-called black man. Then, of course, the father would be a so-called black man as well. Alright, but they try to hide it. See, they broke the nose off. So that's what he looked like, okay? To meet the various, the African rulers of Rome. But he was actually an Israelite, alright? They weren't African, alright? So that's what the word September means. We go back to Septimius, alright? The better. And the word the better, I believe, is, I forgot what the better, we're gonna look it up. It means stern, alright? Or the very serious, strict, hard, or serious. So that's for the serious or stern seven, you know? That's a dope name. Think about the word seven and the meaning of seven, alright? So there you have it, the word September. Go back to Septimius, Severus, the first Israelite Roman general, or like a Roman leader, all right, to lead Rome, and that was the Holy Roman Empire, all right? And that was the start of the 1,000-year period, which is, Esau call it the Dark Ages, all right? But, you know, just making a quick video on what the word September really means. And with that, hope it was edifying. And with that, shalom.